frequency they've been given was built to keep them trapped. Underneath it, there's a room in their own minds they were never given the key to. Your mission is simple, but it won't be easy. Find it, break the lock, awaken them. Alias, Drew Skywalker. Destination, the hidden reality.
What it do, what it do? This is What You Say Saturday. We get y'all going live on IG too. But this is What You Say Saturday. This is where I jump in my own comments and see what y'all been saying over the past week. Because I don't always get to reply like I want to some of the comments, because within my comments is other conversations that go on that need to be talked about. You know, it's a lot of insight inside of the things that my audience says. So I want to start highlighting some of that. And some of y'all be talking crazy. So I got to highlight that too. And the first post I'm going to start off with is the one I made yesterday about pre-nut clarity. And it came from a longer live where I was talking about how sex will never fulfill a man. So one of the main comments, where is it? I wanted to point out. Oh, yeah. It's B. Nicole. She commented and said, "Gay." And I don't understand why a lot of people on the internet, just in general, y'all just jump in people's comments and throw insults as if like we know y'all, you know what I'm saying? And what I notice a lot of the time when people, the first thing they do is insult something you're saying as a content creator or whatever, you go to their page and check. They either got no posts, their page private. They usually anonymous. They usually ain't saying it with their chest. You know, that's a common pattern I noticed. So, but I just find it funny how people, the first thing they think to do is insult you, or, you know, they don't stay on topic. But to her point, her comment, one thing you'll notice about women today is that one of the main insults they like to throw at men is the gay insult, trying to imply that a man is a homosexual. And I find it funny because, and I made a video about that actually. I talked about how women throw that insult, but at the same time, any heterosexual man that expresses the slightest disagreement with their lifestyle, now they calling him homophobic and he spreading hate and all this different stuff. And then on top of that, women have all kind of gay friends. So it's like, how can you use that as a credible insult to a straight man? You know, so there's a lot of hypocrisy in it, or like it's a contradiction more so. And I just find that funny as well. But that was the first comment that caught my eye from this post. Then Young Roger, he said, "Pre-nut clarity, you hear the saxophones." Yeah, that's fact. I replied to his comments. I told him guys put in earplugs to drown out the saxophones just so they can clap a certain woman, just so they can have sex with a certain female. And that's the theme. That was the theme of what I was talking about yesterday, how men need to understand that sex will never fulfill them. They'll never be made whole just by the women they choose to have sex with. And the men that realize that, these are the men that'll succeed in this new world that we're going into. Because like I was talking about yesterday, it's all kind of traps and pitfalls being set for men that will ruin their lives in ways that they can't imagine, in ways that they won't be able to get out of, as we've seen in the past. Like I said, it's men that have children with certain women that are wreaking havoc in their lives right now. It's men that's sitting in jail, lives taken away. They'll never see the light of day again, or they'll be old by the time they get out. Most of their life will be over with just because of who they chose to have sex with. And that's what I was getting at in that video. But Young Rod, you funny for that. That was a good comment. They need to hear the saxophone. But let me go to another post. And this is conversational too. I want y'all to jump in and talk to me, so we can talk back and forth, because this is like the end of the week. And it's I'm working on my topics for next week. So this is kind of where we interact and I pick y'all's brains, y'all pick mine. Just a conversation. Let me see what's another good one. I know which one, exactly which one. She doesn't want to build with you. Let's read through these. It was one specifically. Here we go. Okay. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but I'm gonna try. We Salat. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I know he's from the UK when I looked at his profile, but he said that this is terrible advice. Telling the video was that women don't want to build with you in 2026, and his response to that was, "This is terrible advice. You're dealing with women who don't like you. A woman will happily build with you if she views you as him. Look for the women who see you as a king, never settle for less." Now, what he said ain't wrong. I agree with that. That's what I tell men all the time. Like who like you. Like the women that actively show you that you're their first choice. But what I'm talking about in this video is a little bit different than that, because a woman wanting to build with you is dependent on other factors outside of her just liking you. Because a woman can like you, but if your life ain't together, it's going to be a limit on what you can do. Now, we know some women look beyond that, and these are typically some of your more healthy relationships, because you know for a fact that the woman is there for you. But in today's time, what I'm telling men is that you can't depend on that traditional mindset of needing a woman beside you to build something great, because you'll be waiting all day. You know, this is not 1956. Like I said, it's 2026, where women are much more independent in terms of finances and success in their careers, whatever you want to name. So they're not looking at the men that they want to pair bond with or partner up with off of those metrics primarily. So it's many men that's waiting to take control of their own lives and build a solid foundation because they want a woman beside them doing it, just because of that traditional idea of how we get to marriage and long-term relationships now. But it's outdated. See, as men, you got to build something for yourself, strictly by yourself, and know that if you build it to a certain level, women gonna always be there. And a lot of men, like further down in this comment, I remember the guys were saying, like, if a woman comes in after I built it, she has no say so, or she can't be here. It was different versions of the same thing, but basically they're saying, if I build my whole life by myself, why would I allow a woman to come in and benefit off of it? And I get that, and that's true to a degree also. But more so, what I'm saying is, you got to build your life the way you want it. You got to build that foundation first, and then women come in and enhance what you've already built. That's why we call them helpmeets. They looking for the men that they can come in and add to. And we think about the hard, rigid boundaries of building a life that we want. So a lot of men think that it's nothing that a woman can provide, but for any man that's really built something, we know that women can come in. Women, I like to say it is women add color where we see black and white. You know, they bring light to things that we can't always see, because they represent the feminine. They embody the feminine. They embody the creative, the imaginative side of life. Whereas we got the other side, the logical, the way it is what it is, that side of life. That's men. So when a man takes the time to build something on his side of life, build something rigid and solid, then the woman comes in and enhances that. And that's what I was saying, that we as men in today need to just focus on building something solid. Don't even worry about the woman being right there while you're doing it, because a lot of that has to do with comfort. Men just want comfort as they go through these hard journeys, and that'll pull you off of your path quicker than it'll keep you on it. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're focusing on being comforted as you progress. Let me read some more comments though from this. It was another one I was looking for. You see, if you come into my house, just call me Z said, if you come into my house without helping me build it, you have no say so over most things. I can put pillows on my own couch. Hey, I can't argue with that. I get it. And the analogy I used in that video when I was talking about you build a house, how most women don't want to be there when you're putting up the net, putting nails in the wall, putting up the frame, pouring the concrete. They want to come in when it's time to decorate. And to his comment, when he said he could put his own pillows on the couch, when I said that, what I mean by pillows, these are non-essential items within the house. Like the more important parts are like the roof. So it's going to keep the elements out. But when you get to decorating the inside, this is more so in alignment with the feeling, how you want it to feel when you walk in, how you want it to, the level of comfort you want to have when you in here chilling. You know, so pillows are in simple terms, it's the small aspects of a woman that she brings into your life that enhance what you've already built. And that was the whole point of that video, to make men focus on building something for themselves. That's the main premise. So there's a lot of different ways that my pillow analogy was taken, but that's the main point. Let me go to another video. There's one more. I'm gonna do the dark reality of the real man. That one got the man with the plan. Got to be him, Mr. Millions. Yes, sir. Can't say it better myself. Let me see. The dark reality of the attractive man. So I'm actually going to read this first comment. It was from a woman that commented this. I'm Shelby Rose. She said, well, this has been me as a woman. So send me this man and we will find a beautiful balance with each other. That's the funny thing about my content. What if Kunsi, what if I can't afford pillows type shit? It's the pillows, it's trying to think of how to answer that question. It's like you can always afford it if you focus on yourself, because it's energetic currency that you buy with. The pillow, the small enhancements that women bring into your life is purchased with who you've built yourself to be. That's why a lot of men have to buy their way in with women. They have to take them on a bunch of dates and buy them actual stuff with real money, because the energy ain't enough. So you can afford the pillows that a woman brings by simply making sure you solid on the inside, making sure your energy is grounded, because the woman is looking for energy. Like, you got to have all the other stuff. Like I made the analogy of building a house and whatnot, but woman is primarily, it's a fancy way to say the woman is looking for a certain level of energy. So if you got that, she gonna feel like she gonna be more than happy to give you the pillows, to come in and decorate and enhance what you've already built, because she wants to contribute to something. That's what a lot of men don't realize about women. They looking for something to contribute to. And a lot of men go wrong. Like I said, the main idea of the video is needing a woman to be there while you build, but if you focus on building, now you're in a better position to decide the boundaries. So you can decide if her enhancements match up with what you built. And any man that's ever built something and brought a woman in, they know that, because you have to, even though you want a woman to be there, you still got to stay aware to the fact that if you don't keep the boundaries of your home, your house, she can make it crumble. Peace, my brother. How you doing? Trav, what's good? Man, I'm trying to do my thing, trying to get a game to the guys. But yeah, when you focus on what you built, then you can be more aware and more cognizant to keeping the boundaries intact. So when it comes to affording the pillows, you'll have more than enough to afford them. She'll be giving them to you gladly. She'll be coming in helping decorate gladly. That's what I'm getting at. But back to this last post that I'm gonna cover in this live, and this is the dark reality of the real man. Yeah, and this video is taking my page up right now. There's so many men that been resonating with this one and talking to me in the comments, and that this explained their whole lives, how they never heard it articulated like this, the struggles that they've been going through. They never heard it articulated in that well. And the thing about this specific video, I remember I made it just on a random day. Like it just came to my mind because I started to realize like what I was talking about yesterday, the great separation, how men are being separated by way of simple things like controlling their lust, because we coming into a time where it's much easier to land in certain pitfalls and traps by way of your lust. So in that same lane is a lot of fake stuff going on in the world, because everybody wants instant gratification, and there's many more avenues for you to get instant gratification. But what people don't think about, what a lot of men don't think about, is how it affects their further legacy, how it affects their long-term trajectory. So I made this video talking about the dark reality of the real man, because people don't look at the humanity of men as deeply as they should. They know how to hold their hand out and ask for help from a man, or get him to do something. They treat him like a machine, but they don't look at his humanity. And that's what I was talking about in that video, how you got to demand your own humanity as a man, because ain't nobody gonna check on you constantly. Or it's only you can count on your first few fingers how many people really gonna make sure that you straight as a man, as effective as you are, as reliable as you are, dependable, trustworthy, whatever you do for your family, your community, it's easy for you to turn into a tool, because people forget that men also have feelings, that we also have emotions, that we also human. So you got to stay on top of it. And that creates a dark reality, because you're going to be trying to look out for yourself, but the world going to be telling you that you're selfish, that that it's toxic masculinity. You know, all the little new terms that they use. It's something they're going to try to label you in some kind of way that's not true. You just looking out for your best interest. You're doing what needs to be done from as a real man. You're doing what needs to be done from the most authentic place. And that most authentic place is the place where you help others, you remain of service to others, but you're doing it with your humanity intact. You do it with the demand, with the boundary that, okay, I'm gonna do this certain thing for you, but you're gonna have to treat me with respect. You're gonna have to respect who I am. And a lot of men fall into that trap. And I think that's why this video is doing so well, because men, we feel guilt a lot because we prioritize ourselves over the people around us sometimes. And you have to. Like, I made the analogy of maybe not in this particular video, but I've used it before, the plane analogy. And I call it airplane masculinity, where they tell you on a plane, when you sit down, in case of emergency, put your mask on first. Because if you don't, and you pass out, and then maybe you got a child or an elderly person with you, somebody that can't put the mask on for themselves. If you pass out, all of y'all gonna die, because you didn't take care of yourself first. And that's the same way men have to look at life, because like I said, we expected to be the leaders. We expected to be the head of the household. So when we don't prioritize our own health, when we don't prioritize our own mental, everybody can end up crashing and burning because we crash and burn as individuals. So a lot of men in these comments, they were appreciative of that perspective because it's something that goes on every day, but nobody really talks about it. And a lot of men can't talk about it because they don't necessarily know how to articulate it without coming off as like selfish, pretty much. That's the best word I can use to describe it. And let me read some of the comments. Pay Me Zay said, man, this shit been on my mind heavy for years and I couldn't understand it for the longest. This is my life, for real. Well said. D23 Zine definitely resonated with me. It low-key verbally explained my life. Jay, what up? What's going on? See. Osbin Good said, learning how to chalk it up and boss up turns every inconvenience into power. Much respect to the message. And I really like that comment right there, you know, because you have to, as a man, you have to kind of swallow your pride or swallow the pain of realizing that the world don't care about you until you make it care, you know, and it's going to look for every opportunity to use you and not care. So it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that you can just set on autopilot. You have to constantly make sure that the energy that you're exerting is being respected and appreciated. I tell people all the time that people have so much to say about men, but one of the simple part that a lot of people miss is that men will move mountains for you if they simply feel appreciated. The quickest way to get something out of a man is to show him that you appreciate him putting his neck on the line or, you know, tiring himself out for you. And that's where we at in the world today. We in a climate where men, they want men to move those mountains, but they say stuff like, as you should, like the men owe it to them or something. It's like, no, I don't. Like I can take care of myself, and I know it's certain parts of me that can help take care of you. But if I'm gonna do that, you gotta appreciate it. You gotta show me that my energy is being well placed, because I can always keep it for myself and put it to more effective channels within my own life. So let me keep scrolling. I Got Proof said, the struggle, fam. You only find this type of wisdom from within while going through the journey. Got to go through it to get to it. Perfectly said. I totally agree with that. And to that point, overall, my content, a lot of people, like I had a lot of debates that go on in my comments where people might disagree and say what I'm saying is not true. And my whole thing is, I would never get on here and talk about something that I didn't experience. You know, I couldn't even do it because you can tell when somebody is just talking about something that they hadn't really, really been through, because it sounds regurgitated. It sounds like they got it from somebody else. They can't articulate it how it needs to be articulated. Now, overall, I have a lot of conversations about my content because, like I said, people tell me it's not true. But how can you tell me my experience ain't true, which is what I always speak from? And that's why my content is doing so well. That's why my page is going up right now, because I'm speaking from real life experience. And as you see in these comments, the men in my audience are having the same experiences. So I realized too, as a content creator, a lot of people just get on here just to argue, like it's just entertainment for them. They just want to disagree. And one thing anybody that come to my page need to know is that, for one, I ain't gonna back down from a debate, because I'm an intelligent guy, so I know how to debate. I know how to talk about different topics and how to make a point, how to stay on topic, how to stick to the main idea of what we're talking about, which a lot of people don't, which is what I realized, because they want to they can't make a point because they want to add all these outside factors to it that may not even be an experience that they've had. They just feel one part of the argument. So they want to bring in all this extra stuff. Like I made a post about Meg Thee Stallion and her dating Klay Thompson and her basically getting the results of the life that she lived. But then people wanted to come in my comments talking about, you talking down on black women and you trying to say she deserved to get cheated on. And I'm like, no, I never said any of that. I said that Meg Thee Stallion is a woman that made her whole career off of horror music, being encouraging women to be hoes, encouraging them to have sex with as many men as possible and extract all the material resources that they could to play mind games with men. So what sense would it make for her to ride off into the sunset and had this happily ever after when she's led a lot of women astray, when she's been with multiple men in the industry? That was the point I'm making. That it's not about what you deserve or what you think you deserve. It's about the results that you set yourself up for. Like it comes down to that alone. And not to get too deep into that topic itself, but I'm just saying how I realize a lot of the conversations that go on in our climate today are not even sticking to the main point. So that's why we never get anywhere when we talk about this different stuff. It's just people want to talk and want to chime in, get their 2 cents when they're not even qualified to be talking about certain things. And the thing is, to close this out and to go back to this post that I'm talking about, the dark reality of the real man, it's people that would say that it is no dark reality of being a real man, just because they've never had to be in that position. So they would discredit everything I'm saying in this video, while it's plenty of other men that's sitting here telling us in the comments that, man, this is explaining my whole life. This is what I've been dealing with to a T. And this shows you the reality that we're living in. Some people are living outside of reality, but want to make decisions within our reality. That's the duality that we're dealing with right now. So you have to keep that in mind, especially when you're on this internet, when you watching different videos. You got to watch what you're consuming and what you really taking serious, because most of the people that get on here and talk really ain't qualified to do so, you know. But yeah, I went on a little rant right then, but yeah, I want y'all to understand that anything I get on here and say is coming from experience. And even when I get into deeper topics, I do research. I actually go read before I open my mouth on this camera. So, but man, I appreciate y'all. My audience, like I said, my page going up right now. Having a lot of success, a lot of growth. Looking forward to more of that in the future. I'm only going to get better with the topics that I bring y'all, and I'm working on my delivery as well. Like, this is a big thing for me right now, doing this live stream, because this ain't my typical lane, you know. So I had to get more comfortable with just talking and, you know, coming off the top of my head, really coming from my heart with what I got to say, and not being scared to make mistakes in front of y'all. Like, that's a big part of this. Just opening up. And, you know, if I pause or I get nervous or whatever, I gotta get used to that, because as I get deeper in this journey, I know it's gonna require more of me. But I always want to give y'all my all. I always want to talk about what I need to talk about in the way I need to talk about it. So yeah, this has been the first episode of What You Say Saturday. What's up, mama? It's been the first episode of What You Say Saturday. I appreciate y'all that chimed in, you know, came through, took some time to listen to me. And yeah, we'll be back Monday for On My Mind Monday. So I help y'all get your mindset right for the week ahead. But yeah, y'all holler at me in the DMs, tap in with me. Y'all start sending me clips too. Start sending me topics you want me to talk about, because D-Rock, what up, G? Yeah, y'all start sending me things you want me to talk about, because I really want to get more in tune with my audience and really target all the things y'all exactly what y'all want me to talk about. So yeah, so y'all, my page is open. Y'all hit me up. Yeah, I'll see y'all in the next. Peace.